I'm Ravi. In the Gage Lab, we use cutting-edge techniques in cell biology and genetics to investigate the brain and nervous system. We study many topics, including psychiatric disorders like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, as well as neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. We also pursue questions related to normal development and maintenance of the nervous system. Our research helps us understand and better develop diagnostic tools for these diseases, as well as treatment for those who are suffering. This important work is accomplished with a large team of scientists from all over the world with a unique role in our lab.
Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm an undergraduate student in the lab. I'm studying biochemistry and cell biology, and I'm a senior at UCSD. Undergrads work part-time, or we receive course credit assisting in research being done at the lab. We learn on the job how to perform different techniques and the science behind them.
Hi, my name is Desiree Ramirez, and I work as a research assistant at the Salk Institute. I graduated last year from UCSD and majored in biochemistry. In my current position, I assist a postdoc on her project.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a staff scientist. People in this position normally work on multiple research projects, write papers, go to conferences, and mentor younger scientists in the lab.
My name is Lynn Moore. I'm a lab manager at the Salk Institute for Biological Studies in Dr. Fred Gage's lab. I got my degree from San Diego State in 1980 and have been in the field of neuroscience ever since.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm the laboratory administrator in the Gage Lab at the Salk Institute. I provide administrative support to the lab's PI and lab members. This includes, for example, hiring personnel, accounting, grants coordination, and scheduling meetings.
Hi, I'm Rusty Gage. I'm the PI of the Gage Lab. PI is a principal investigator. So my job is to come up with the general themes that we'll do research on at the laboratory.
I was looking to gain research experience, and so my second year I applied to this position by emailing the lab manager. I was taught most of my skills such as cell culture, PCR, immunofluorescent, microscopy from the ground up, so don't feel like you have to have a lot of experience when you come into this position.
I knew I needed lab experience, so I volunteered in a lab on campus. And then from that lab on campus, I got an internship, a paid internship, because I needed money. And I started off working at a dining hall, but that wasn't going to help me advance in my career. Once I got this internship, I worked there for my last 2 years of college. Then that helped, all the experience I gained there helped me get my position at the Salk.
I worked in a research lab in undergrad, and my mentor there encouraged me to apply to grad school. Before I applied, I went and got some extra experience at a government research institute. Then I did a PhD in neuroscience and came straight here to the Gage Lab after I graduated.
I was originally a technician working in biochemistry and molecular biology, but many years later I became a lab manager, and now I help out with finances, personnel issues, organizational issues, and structure in general.
My path to this position does not include a science education, but includes an associate's degree, along with a lot of on-the-job training. Organizational and problem-solving skills are important to be able to keep a lab running smoothly.
My senior year of high school, I discovered more about better health, and so I wanted to do that for myself. And upon learning, I realized that for me, science helps put things together because it's very logical, it makes more sense. And so that's why I wanted to pursue STEM.
I majored in biology as an undergrad, and I knew early on that the brain was the most interesting part of the body to me. I wanted to know more about how the brain lets humans and other animals interact with the world around them, and why they tend to behave the way that they do.
My driving force to go into science was to better mankind. On the side, I also get to better myself, to expand my mind, not only scientifically, but also socially. I don't believe I would have had that exposure in other fields.
My interest is in the brain, and I'm particularly interested in what we call the plasticity or the flexibility of the brain, how it can change. It's not fixed, it's changed by experience. And early on, I was amazed by how after brain damage, the brain actually has mechanisms that try to heal itself. And I was interested in understanding how that process works.
One of my favorite things is that I get to put the concepts that I learned in class into practice and do the assays that I've learned about.
The benefits to working in science have not only been the opportunity to be a co-author on papers that I contributed significantly on, but also to be exposed to such a diverse group of people.
I enjoy designing experiments and trying to figure out how to solve a question that we don't have an answer to yet. I also like looking at data, trying to figure out what it means, and helping my colleagues do the same. There's always something new and interesting to talk about in a research lab.
And I really like doing science. I enjoy it. I find that it's challenging for me, but I also really like the people that are involved in science. They're generally smart and motivated to do good things, and they're curious. And I just enjoy the whole atmosphere of science all around.
Hi, my name is Sarah Fernandez, and I'm a PhD student in Dr. Gage's Laboratory of Genetics. We're a neurobiology lab. We study the human brain. I work primarily in our tissue culture area, where I work in the brain organoid model system. In our tissue culture area, we have biosafety cabinets, which allow us to manipulate our cells in a sterile environment outside of the human body. This is important because our cells don't have an immune system to protect them from bacteria or other pathogens they might encounter in the environment. We also have incubators in the tissue culture area, and these keep our cells at a consistent 37 degrees Celsius and 5% carbon dioxide. The 5% carbon dioxide helps the cultures maintain a consistent pH level. I keep the brain organoids in an incubator on a shaker, and this helps with nutrient and oxygen diffusion into the organoids. They are kind of a dense structure, so having this added nutrient and oxygen diffusion really helps their growth. The brain is a challenging organ to study. It's really complex, and it's also locked within a cranial vault, so accessing tissues of the brain can be really challenging. But one way that we can study the brain in our lab is to start with human fibroblasts. And in this image, you can see some fibroblasts, and they have this elongated, kind of spindly morphology. After we've obtained patient fibroblasts, we can begin to reprogram them to pluripotent stem cells, which means they have the potential to differentiate into any cell type of the body. And once we begin this transition process, you can see that the fibroblasts actually begin to change their morphology, or the way that they look. So they start to grow in these colonies in close contact with each other. Once we start to obtain these stem cells, we can isolate them and expand them. And then when the colonies get large enough, we can actually lift the colonies from the plate and start to add other factors, transcription factors and things, that begin to promote their differentiation towards a neuronal lineage. We can support other intrinsic properties of the stem cells and allow them to kind of self-organize into these structures. And in the upper left-hand corner, you can see one of these structures, and this is a brain organoid. So a brain organoid has different cell types that make up the brain, and it also recapitulates early processes of human brain development.
If you're thinking about a career in science, and it is your passion, I encourage you to look into it, think about it.
Yeah, I just want to encourage you guys and say that you shouldn't be too intimidated by labs and research, because I'm sure you can do it.
I really hope that all of you will give science a try, take some science classes, and if you like it, volunteer or apply to get some work in a research laboratory so you can find out if it's right for you. It's not right for everybody, but I certainly knew from the very beginning that this is what I want to do. Well, it's been good talking to you, and I wish you all the best in your career. Thank you. Have a great day.
This incredible group of people come together to research these neurological diseases so that we can better develop diagnostic tools as well as treatment for those who are suffering. To learn more about our work, you can always visit our website at gage.salk.edu. We're always looking for bright young scientists to help us with these projects. You can learn more about our internships at the Salk Institute and other opportunities for high school students at salk.edu/education. Thank you.